Yo, 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 yo. Okay. We are live. Dang. Alright, so we got a couple reactions for y'all. Dang, it should be live. I don't know why chat's not popping up here. Dang. Alright. Anyways, let's just jump right into the reactions, bro. We're gonna start off something scary. Okay, yeah. We're gonna start off something scary, so we got horrors of the Hispanic internet. This isn't even like, you know, America's internet. This is Hispanic internet.
National Fair is an annual event held in San Luis
So let's check it out.
Mexico. It's one of the region's largest cultural and trade events, with roots dating back to the 1960s.
I want to make sure y'all can hear it pretty good.
Expos and rides, receiving millions of visitors each year. What many of these visitors don't realize, however, is that one of the most disturbing pieces of footage on the Hispanic internet was filmed at this very event. In 2008, during one—
I went to one carnival in Mexico. It was honestly a blast, I'm not gonna lie. Even though the instructional integrity of these rides can be, you know, a little iffy, but that can be everywhere. So
on a pirate ship ride. At first, everything seemed normal, but what he captured instead would leave millions confused.
Am I even allowed to show this? I mean, surely it's safe, right? Oh god. This is one of my, like, if I'd have to have one type of fear in a theme park, it wouldn't be clowns. I don't know who's scared of clowns. Like, if you're scared of clowns of 2026, that's crazy, but it's the rides themselves, like, actually failing. That's... What happened though? Bro, please.
At first glance, nothing seems out of place.
Wait, what happened?
But if you look closely, the woman sitting furthest down appears only for a moment.
Oh, bro. Okay, it's one of these, it's one of these, bro. It's one of these. Hold on. I wasn't expecting this.
She's gone. No movements, no reaction.
No, that's... I didn't even recognize.
Seconds earlier. And that's where the story takes a darker turn.
You guys are lucky if you're watching this, because technically I'm like here watching this with y'all, but I got nobody watching this with me, so...
Who claim to have been familiar with the 2008, the figure seen in the footage may not just have been another
ride. Hell?
Some believe she was a girl who passed away on one of the rides. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember that it was during the time when the FNAP was being renovated. The news spread quickly that a girl had died on one of the rides. Could it be her? Because she really disappeared. Another user added, I was in contact with people close to the accident, but Atracciones Garcia kept everything quiet. There were reports, but nothing ever aired. From what I was told, they paid all the treatments of the injured. While there's no confirmed record of a fatal accident at the fair that matches the story, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Incidents like this have happened before, and in some cases,
Action Park was a bad idea.
Them from reaching the public. Of course, there are more realistic explanations. The girl seen in the footage could have simply shifted her seats or moved out of frame in a way that made her appear to vanish. Since the original source of the video is unknown, there's no way to verify if that girl was actually there. Yeah,
like it could also be like some type of editing.
That doesn't explain why so many people believe otherwise. And without any confirmation from the person who recorded it, what was captured at the fair in 2008 will likely remain a mystery. On April,
I just think it's a perspective thing with the camera.
2017, a man named Victor Gutierrez submitted a disturbing video to Mexican news sites. Along with it, he included a short message. A workmate who lives in Monterrey said that his family recorded it, and they believe that this is a witch. But the footage Victor was referring to was far...
I'm gonna say this once, bro.
stranger.
living, not even living, spending the night in Mexico, wherever you're at, is just scary. There's just some type of vibe, bro.
And that description suggests
It's just scary, bro. If you know, you know. That's crazy, though.
The clip shows what appears to be a glowing ball of fire vaguely shaped like a person, rising slowly from the ground into the night sky. It drifts upwards for a few seconds, and just as it fades, the video abruptly fades to black. Several Mexican news outlets picked up the story, but despite the attention, none of them were able to reach a clear conclusion about what was actually
I don't know. You can't even tell what this is.
However, the deeper you look into similar reports, the more familiar this footage starts to feel. Across Hispanic forums, there are countless accounts describing nearly identical sightings throughout Latin America. Many believe that what was recorded is connected to a well-known phenomenon tied to regional folklore. Brujas. In Mexican folklore, witches, also known as brujas, are said to transform into fireballs.
That's crazy.
According to these legends, this form allows them to travel quickly through the nights, hunt, or carry out acts of heinous intent. These sightings are almost always reported after dark, often leaving witnesses with a deep sense of fear. Of course, there are more grounded explanations. It's possible the fire was nothing more than burning debris, maybe a piece of paper or material that lifted into the air as it burns. There's also the possibility that Victor staged the video himself, especially considering he was the one who sent it directly to news outlets. But both explanations leave one problem. Reports of similar fireballs don't just exist in one place, or one video. They appear across multiple countries.
That's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, is it just people coordinated doing this? Really well coordinated? Or is it actually something? We don't know.
People who have no connection to each other, all describing the same thing.
That's crazy.
Figures rising into the sky before vanishing.
Now, I really got to see this from my own eyes.
Without a trace. Whatever the case, the footage...
But I never really had anything like paranormal ever happen to me. Well, there's a couple times, but...
And it perfectly encapsulates one of the most disturbing phenomena.
It was so weird.
America. On June 11th, 2008, a video titled Paranormal Duende on the Bridge was uploaded to YouTube. The clip is only 48 seconds long, and at first...
Now you know if it's bad quality, you know some shit about to go down.
It seems completely harmless. It shows a group of kids on a bridge setting up for a simple video.
It's gonna be someone like
the camera down and walks over to join the
someone behind them or something.
Ready to start recording, but what they captured instead would turn that short clip into one of the most disturbing pieces of footage.
Oh no! Don't tell me someone
discussed on the Hispanic internet.
What? Wait. Wait, what happened? Wait, why are you going there? Sounds like, I don't know, sounds like a siren or something. Okay.
A low, unsettling humming is heard, and a dark figure suddenly runs past the end of the tunnel. Then the video abruptly ends.
This could honestly just be some kids staging this, but
17 years.
I don't know.
This footage has been considered by many to be one of the most convincing videos ever set to capture a duende. For those unfamiliar with the term, a duende is a small human-like entity found throughout Spanish and Latin American folklore. Often described as something resembling a gnome or goblin. In many legends, duendes are portrayed as mischievous tricksters.
Yeah, I think it's more like a goblin.
In others, they are something far more sinister, often being tied to stories of children vanishing under mysterious circumstances. And that is exactly why this video stood out. Across Hispanic forums, there are countless supposed duende sightings caught on camera. Most of them show vague figures, quick movements, or distant shapes that are hard to make out.
That's crazy. See, there's a lot of stuff in Mexico that's just scary, But like whenever it's at night, it just turns 10 times scary. It's like life on hard mode. I'm not gonna lie.
This clip is different.
Like,
right before
it's
the figure
creepy out
appears,
there, I'm not gonna
faint
lie.
humming could be heard in the background. Something that
It's
has
nice
now
though.
been
It's
widely
beautiful. It's
reported in
beautiful.
Other alleged Wendigo sightings across Latin America. Because of that detail, many people believe the video may have been staged.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I think it looks a little staged, but
A popular
that could
Judges
just be
saying
me.
online around the time this video was uploaded. It
And I believe in like all these like paranormal
would
shits.
not
I
have been
believe
difficult to
because
set
like
up. However,
it's just
there
there's
is
just no
another
way. Like there's just no way that you know.
possibility. It could have been a person who was caught on camera unexpectedly, but if that
Mm.
is what this was, the figure's behavior makes the footage even more unsettling. It stays low, moves quickly,
Yeah.
and runs past in a way that almost feels intentional, as if it was trying not to be seen. But
Yeah.
even that explanation leaves one detail unanswered, the humming. Unfortunately, the kids in the video never gave a follow-up on what happened that day, and the account that uploaded the footage has now been inactive for more than 15 years. So
That's crazy.
whatever was captured on that bridge in June of 2008, the truth behind it may never be known.
Maybe it's like an art project or something.
Across Latin America,
Hell
there
of a
isn't
project.
more well-known legend than that of La Llorona. You see,
Okay, this I think this happened to me in Mexico. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This happened to me. But like my parents were no, it was my mom. It was me and my mom. My mom and like my family, we were staying with some family and they all went out. It was only me in the house cuz I fell asleep and I was a little kid and I swear I was hearing some stuff. I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird.
Crying whales are said to lure both adults and children to their ultimately deaths. For years, long before
My mom did tell me like do not leave the house. And I was for sure certain about that. I was not gonna leave,
age
bro.
of technology, this story was
I
passed
stayed
down word of
home, I
mouth,
swear.
with no real evidence behind it, but that began to change. As cameras became more accessible, people started claiming they were capturing this disturbing phenomenon for themselves and uploading
This
it
is
online.
crazy though.
On June 12, 2022, a man named Carlos, a soldier in the Mexican military, posted a disturbing video to TikTok. The clip shows him recording a dark, empty field somewhere in Mexico. For someone like Carlos, this wasn't unusual. As a soldier, he was used to being in isolated areas like
That's
this,
crazy.
often in complete darkness. However, nothing could have prepared him for what he was about to encounter.
Ya le puse de grabar a ver si se escucha, güey, porque no mames, si se escuchó bien culerísimo, güey. Sí, güey. No mames, no te pases de no te pases.
That's
No se ve
crazy.
ni madres, güey. A ver, deja ver. A ver, alúmbralo. Esas son las vacas, güey. Hasta las vacas empezaron a hacer ruidos, güey.
So the cows.
No se ve nadie. No se ve nadie, güey.
Sounds like a moose. Like some type of moose or something.
Sí, güey.
In the distance, deep within the darkness of the fields, a faint sound can be heard, a woman crying and wailing. Then
Yeah.
the video abruptly ends. Not long after it was posted, Carlos's video began to go viral.
That's
quickly
crazy.
becoming one of the most talked about examples of La Llorona supposedly caught on camera. While it's unclear exactly where Carlos was at the time of recording, it's unusual for anyone, especially a woman, to be out in the middle of a dark,
Yeah.
isolated field crying out like that in the middle of the night. Not to mention, Carlos wasn't known for posting paranormal content. In fact,
That's crazy, bro.
based on the footage, he appears to have been on duty. Another person in the video can be seen wearing military gear as well, making it far less likely that this was some kind of stage clip. But even with that in mind,
I feel like just when you're anywhere, like in a like a foresty environment or like out in nature, I feel like you just hear different animals where you're not used to, and it just kind of scares you,
there's
you
no
know.
clear explanation for what
And
was
even like back then in like, oh, I don't know, like 15th century when we were like early humans, bro, I feel like even then it was just natural for us to stay away from the darkness and stay away from the forest, bro. Like,
at night.
because where there's forests, there's animals, and where there's animals, there's possibility of
2019,
surviving,
when a
so
family living in Colombia began
that's
hearing
just like
strange
human
noises
nature,
coming
you
from
know?
the kitchen. Not just random sounds, but a low murmuring mixed with something that sounded almost like a cat. Homeowner Doña Blanca went to check what it was, but when she tries to open the kitchen door, something on the other side pushed back.
Now that's creepy. I did have situation
She
like
tried
this, bro.
again, and then a third time, but whatever was
This was
inside
weird.
refused to let the door open.
Yo, what's
Thinking it
up?
was
What's
an
going
animal,
on?
She called her 3 children to help force open it, and what they found inside was far stranger than anyone expected. The following
Was it
images
anything,
were
though?
taken At the scene. It was a woman, but
hell
according to
nah.
Doña Blanca, something about her wasn't right. Her
What the-
expression was completely frozen,
Huh?
locked into an intense, almost unnatural stare. And as she sat there,
Yeah, bro, I remember you.
she
course I
continued
remember
making
you,
the
bro.
Same sounds, noises that, according to the family,
Going
sounded
on, bro?
exactly like a cat. Her hands were also covered in thick black mud, but it didn't match anything found outside the home. When Doña tried speaking to her, the woman gave a strange explanation. She claimed she had just gotten off a bus, but at that hour, no buses were running through.
Yeah,
the
bro.
area. Authorities
We doing some reaction, you know? Glad for you to join us.
And the woman was taken away to an internet cafe nearby. At first,
This is crazy.
It seemed like a possible medical issue, maybe someone in severe distress. But the situation didn't end there. The next day, employees.
Okay, I wouldn't even know what to do, first of all. I'd just probably call the police if somehow some random ass lady shows up in your house. Like, what the, like, that's just so weird. Like,
missing,
what?
And the woman was gone.
like
She
who,
was
like, who
never
is it? Like,
seen.
lady, who are you?
According
Like, what?
to Doña Blanca's family, strange things had already been happening in the house in the days leading up to the incidents.
Like, what?
Objects moving on their own, things shifting in ways that didn't make any sense.
Like,
To
brother.
them, this wasn't just a random encounter. They believe they came face to face with something paranormal.
I
couldn't
mean,
find any records identifying the woman, and there are no confirmed reports explaining who she was. Of course,
could be like mental health or
there are
something,
more
like a
realistic
squatter. Like, what the
possibilities.
hell?
She could have simply been someone experiencing a severe mental episode, confused, disoriented, and in need of help. But even that explanation doesn't account for everything.
That's just
And because
weird.
of that, whatever was found inside that kitchen that night will likely remain a mystery. In January of 2024,
Alright, what else we got?
a security guard working the night shift at the Plaza of Technology.
I swear to God, if you're working night shift, especially security, just prayers to you, brother. Cause that job, like you got one hell of a job. I'm not gonna lie.
Monterrey, Mexico, began what should have been a routine part of his job.
On
The
Rocket
plaza
League,
itself-
nah. We're just doing reactions, mainly just reactions now. Maybe I could do it
It's a
off stream
massive
though.
indoor
It
market
depends.
Filled with dozens of small shops that attract thousands of customers every single day. But once all the stores close, security guards are required to patrol the building, walking through long, dark corridors and checking for
Yeah, bro. Main reason I'm just doing reactions is mainly for the channel, for the YouTube. So yeah.
sections to make sure no one has remained inside. While the job can be exhausting and sometimes dangerous, nothing unusual had ever happened before. But on this particular night, that would change. As the guards
This is
slowly made
crazy,
his way
though.
past rows of closed shops,
Again, you're a security guard,
he
brother.
suddenly began to hear something
Nah.
coming from deeper inside
I had a friend that worked security. He said it was the worst job ever.
the plaza.
He said it was. Oh shoot. Hold up.
Buenas noches.
Nah. Alright. Let me tell you something. What to do in this situation, bro. Record, right? Because you don't know if it's a setup. You don't know if you about to get kidnapped. You don't know if it's earthly or unearthly. Just record. Record, and honestly,
Buenas noches, ya se cerró. Ahí hay
it might be
un
GG.
niño aquí.
It might be GG.
A child can clearly be heard screaming in distress somewhere inside the building.
And if you're religious, I guess pray. I mean,
The sound echoes through the empty halls.
That helps
but
you, that helps
no
you.
one's there. Not long after, the guard uploaded the footage online.
That's
and it
crazy,
quickly
though.
went
That's
viral,
crazy.
With people trying to figure out what exactly he captured that night. It could have been a child accidentally left behind after closing. Considering
No.
the size of the plaza, it's not out of the question.
Yeah, but
even
no.
that theory has problems. If a child was really trapped inside, you would expect them to respond when the guard called out.
Yeah.
Some believe the sound wasn't coming from anything physical inside the building at all. According to local rumors,
Huh?
there have been past incidents involving children in crowded public spaces like this. Cases where kids went missing, or in some versions of the story, didn't make it out. While none of this has ever been officially confirmed, some believe that what the guard heard that night wasn't a real child, but a spirit left behind, something that may have happened there years earlier. In my conclusion, since the plaza is filled with electronic stores, many of which sell speakers, televisions, and other audio equipment, it's entirely possible that the sound wasn't coming from a real person at all, but instead from a device left on somewhere inside one of the shops.
No, but
Unfortunately, the guard never...
the odds of that happening though is just so low, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know. I don't think it was a real child. It could be a fake video too. We don't know, bro.
And because of that, what was actually heard inside the plaza that night will likely never be explained.
That's crazy though. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. Yep. I think. Okay, so we did a little scary reaction. We could do another one maybe. Maybe. Oh, we could do another one, bro. These are good. I like these. Wait, was that the same person? No. New dock on Sykkuno. I don't know if that's good. I just think that's a little bit overrated. Alright, bro, come on. Some good. Brother, I swear, why is it like... Oh my god. Bang, found one. Alright. So we got, is Black Ops 3 dead? Let's see. Let's check it out. By the way, the best Call of Duty game of all time. Bang, I said it. Oh, that intro, bro.
It has been way too long. All right, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Black Ops 3. As many of you know, Black Ops 3 is where I started my YouTube channel. This game, for either identical to this or more. Underwater? Is he underwater with me?
Oh, this is like, this is not a reaction video, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a reaction video, but nah. I don't think you could really react to a commentary video like this. Let's see something here. All right. All right. Let's do some different. What we got?
Perfect.
Ooh, let's do this. All right, I think this is a commentary video. Alright. So we got how Verrückt is a masterclass. Our brother. Oh my god, my ears. Verrückt is like one of the like probably top 3 zombies maps of all time, bro. I love the atmosphere in this map. Just like the... Okay, let me just play it out, bro. Just the story behind it. Bro.
Welcome back to Zombies Retrospective. In today's video, we have the job of tackling the ever so innovative Verrückt. Verrückt was the map that introduced
I
so
love
many
this map,
unique
bro.
aspects to zombies, perks, traps, and other minute features that you would never notice at a first glance, all within a map that takes place in one of the most haunting settings in zombies. So with that being said, I think a
Brother, the loading screen on this map was insane.
very appropriate
Like the
place to
music,
start
oh
with
my
this
god.
video, despite the innovation the map pioneered, is with the
Power was literally introduced into this. Like, bro.
Verrückt is a map that takes place
Crazy.
in the
They
Wittenau
cooked.
Sanatorium, a real-life facility that was
I did not know this. This is crazy.
utilized by the Nazis during World War II
Whoa.
as a means to essentially euthanize those who were mentally ill or disabled by
Whoa.
placing them all in one singular confined location. In the context of the Call of Duty Zombies storyline, the events of Verrückt aren't actually too far from what occurred at the real-life location, which should probably go to say a lot about how truly terrible
Wow.
this place was. However,
Wow.
whether a coincidence in its location or not, Verrückt thrives in its setting, taking place in this haunted sanatorium with what
It's just the atmosphere is just so perfect, bro.
seems to be a desolate wasteland outside.
Yeah.
A vast forest torched by flames and engulfed with an eerie fog is what you are
Yeah.
constantly surrounded
Man, I swear, bro, the newer zombies just don't have like this eeriness to it. And I swear, Black Ops 3 Zombies was like the last, just in general, the last Call of Duty that the devs really took their time on.
by,
I
giving
swear,
a
bro.
clear signal to the player that this is not a place that you want to explore.
True.
It is an uninviting site that I think works perfectly as the setting in the map, because it shows the player that the outside of the sanatorium can't protect you from the inside, nor can the inside protect you
True.
from the outside. You see, I don't think Verrückt would thrive nearly as much, for instance, in the nighttime surrounded by a simple forest, because with the way that it is, it shows the player that even in the daytime, even in the
It could
situations
still
where
be,
fear is
like,
usually
scary.
lessened, the building you find yourself in still remains to be dreary and psychologically taxing. Taking the outside area out of the picture, however, Verrückt manages to create an atmosphere of helplessness and solitude right from the spawn. As you will
Yeah.
notice that Verrückt has a unique feature that to this day has not been seen in any
And-
other map.
Exactly.
One. Verrückt has the chance
The split spawn rooms is crazy. And we've never seen
to
this.
spawn you in 2 different locations on opposite sides of the same door, which in solo generally means nothing, but play co-op and you will notice that you and your friend will be separated on these
Yep.
opposite sides. The
Man.
game immediately puts you into the state of panic and isolation deliberately, grounding you and forcing you to fight your way through the sanatorium either by yourself or with another person, ultimately limiting your genuine human connection and simply leaving you with
Now, I never played the original Verrückt. I've only played like the remastered. I think I have played original, but like not like experiencing it like, you know, back then. Like
surroundings. I believe that
I
it's
wasn't
through
playing
this
COD,
isolation
but
that the game forces you to
Black Ops 3
experience the
Verrückt
horror
was-
the setting of this map holds by yourself.
It did
taking away
justice, bro.
Any of the comfort that friends usually provide in horror situations.
It's true.
And the thing is, on top of this, no matter where you spawn, you cannot escape the grotesque visuals of this map. On one side
True.
lies a dentist chair with blood
real ones know you go up to the dentist chair, thing hold square or F,
tools next to it and a severed body part of some kind
That's
sitting
crazy.
in the restraints, leaving your mind to make conclusions as to what happened in the seat when the sanatorium was active. Continue further and it is pure destruction. Fire
Man.
and debris lie everywhere throughout the facility, and you catch a
Bro, there's just something about like classic graphics that are
of
just
what
so
life in the
like
sanatorium was
nostalgic,
like.
bro.
Dirty toilets, horrible tight hallways, and nothing but a fountain sitting in the courtyard that has since been destroyed. On the
crazy.
other side, however, sits a morgue with a noticeably empty slot that usually would have a corpse that no longer exists. Alongside a kitchen later on,
I didn't even
with
know that.
scribbles all over the walls. Unintelligible nonsense consisting of numbers, symbols, and broken language that ultimately represents the insanity of this place, and insanity that is starting to pervade the mind of the player as well. But if you were to take a second to look around the facility, there are signs all around the building that may not look like anything at a first glance, but leave unnerving messages under the translation. For instance, this sign right here directly translates to warning. Unsupervised children will be sold to the circus. Now, while this nowadays is a novel and humorous statement that you would probably see on some kitchen magnet or something, seeing this as a sign in the Varuk facility just brings so many questions as to the horrific nature behind this sign. What does the circus represent here, and what could happen to the children who are, quote, sent to it? However, this is just visuals.
I feel like nowadays that doesn't make sense, but back then, you know, that's just a different
player
story,
can
bro.
make out from the sense of sight, but what I rediscovered upon playing
Man, this map is just so good, bro. That spot, you could literally just sit there for hours and just farm,
for
bro.
this exact video is how well Varuk manages to incorporate the sound design within every facet
Sound design, bro. Ambience, bro. That's Black Ops 3, bro.
of this map. In my last retrospective video, I talked about the sound design of Nacht der Untoten, how the eerie silence of the bunker was broken with the sounds of zombies approaching, and while yes, that is certainly terrifying, zombies are a threat you can get desensitized to after shooting into the horde for as long as you do. But
Yeah.
here in Varuk, zombie sounds are certainly present and terrifying, however, they do not hold a torch to the sounds that accompany them, sounds that I could only be described as something you would find in hell. Remember that dentist chair we mentioned earlier? Well, interacting
we
with
go.
it yields terrifying sounds of a tool performing some sort of operation with a whirring sound on an individual whose only response is to send out spine-chilling screams.
To me, the screams aren't that like scary.
Or
I
how
don't know.
about the
That's just
morgue?
me though.
Going to that open slot we talked about reveals
Oh, yeah.
multiple horrible sounds. Sounds of a baby crying. Sounds of a woman in clear distress crying out in pain that we as the player are left to imagine if it be psychological or physical. But these are just the sounds of the spawn room. In the attempt to reach your teammate on the other side of that door, sounds of the past insanity echoes all throughout the building.
Yeah, oh,
through
yeah.
Constant, never
That scream right there, okay, that one might get me when I'm playing like at 2 in the morning.
ending screams, bangs, and maniacal laughter that truly sets the tone of the map. The
Yeah.
sounds of screams aren't the only thing present here though. Random numbers being listed off at random intervals can be heard occasionally, leaving even
I never even knew that. What?
more questions on the table in the player's mind, confusing and overstimulating the senses to a degree of insanity yourself. However,
What?
easily the most terrifying thing I have ever heard in zombies was the exact clip you heard at the beginning of this video. The sound of what many would consider carnival music sometimes can play while you're in this map.
Oh, yes,
The
yes,
sound that
yes.
by itself would never necessarily be terrifying, but in the context of this map just transforms into something haunting. I often think about why this track even exists at the sanatorium in the first place. Why would they be playing carnival music over the PA system? Was it to drive the mentally ill to a point of psychosis? Was it to drown out the screams of
I don't
those
know.
being tortured and
I'm not sure.
experimented on? Was it a tool used on the children of this facility to lure them into believing that this was the only way to live, the only safe haven to protect them from inflicting any more damage than they have already caused? This specific sound generates a feeling of true terror within me every single time I hear it. And ultimately, I think it mainly results from the fact that this doesn't fit the puzzle that Varuk has made you believe believe through the whole time you play it. You see, the audio of the screams of the tortured and the devices used on them establishes this facility as a dark, gritty,
Yeah.
horrible place that tortures their prisoners physically. But with this specific track that plays throughout the sanatorium at random intervals, it challenges that initial viewpoint.
I
with the
never really
rather
thought about it.
cheerful yet distorted music that plays in the background. But taking all of these factors into account, Verrückt is a map that doesn't just have you sitting down and playing zombies. Rather, it takes you into the experience of the
That's the thing, bro.
past of
These new like Black Ops. I think we're like on Black Ops 7, bro.
the
Brother,
map.
like these zombies are just
It takes you
ass.
through the haunting sights and sounds of what many
Like, please go back to Black Ops 3 zombies, bro.
at this place were
bruh.
even before the zombies came, which honestly kind of makes the zombies feel like less of a threat than the sounds being produced from this map. However,
Yep.
the threat of the zombies is immediately brought back with something that has become very infamous within the history of this map: Verrückt sprinters. Unlike Nocturne Toten that saw a gradual horror with zombies slowly approaching you in your bunker to create that increasing tension, Verrückt throws everything at your face immediately with the zombies in the map, creating spawns that are much closer to the building and cranking up the zombie speed
See, I didn't know there were spinners on this map. I just always knew it was like
100.
like,
You see, for the
they were
first
just
few rounds
fast.
of this map,
I didn't really
Verrückt
think
is
about
a
it.
very similar experience to Nocturne Toten. The zombies spawn in relatively slowly, giving you a chance to prepare yourself for the oncoming hordes, similar to the way Nocturne Toten did.
and then
However,
I would just figure like the last zombies, you know.
from as early as round 6, it is
That's
a
crazy.
drastic change. Suddenly, the zombies are spawning in faster and faster, tearing down the barriers at ungodly speeds, and quickly you find yourself having to find a position and hold it for as long as humanly possible.
Man.
Small details are introduced on this map as well to add to this, such as the zombies being able to hit you through the barriers and
That's
the mystery
crazy.
box being movable around the map are all things that make this just feel like chaos. There is no time in this map to sit down and gradually prepare yourself. The map
Yeah.
constantly has the pedal on the gas and never lets up, drowning the player in constant waves of the undead, zombies that are faster than the player in a lot of cases, forcing them to use whatever they can find around the map as quickly as humanly possible.
That's crazy. High rounds on Verrückt is
just
like, bro.
to survive. However, there is a minute detail that is wrong with this equation that makes the gameplay of this map less engaging than I realistically thought it could have been, and it ironically comes with the voice acting. If you play through this map for just a couple of seconds, you'll realize that even despite these sounds and sights and
Oh, let me guess. The voice.
zombies
Yeah.
themselves, the Marines you play as aren't shown to be scared in the slightest. In fact, they are rather fearless in the face of all of this, which makes the player feel, well, not all that
Yeah.
scared either. It takes one of the scariest settings in zombies and manages to somehow make it completely obsolete, because not once do you ever hear the Marines say something that makes them seem uncertain or paranoid. And
Yeah.
rather, it just sounds like... It's such a minute
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the voice acting just wasn't on par, but
detail that just brings this map down for me, unfortunately, because the atmosphere of this map and literally every other facet is unbelievable. It's just this one measly mistake that slightly ruins the atmospheric gameplay for me personally. But anyways,
Yeah,
for the
man.
sprinting zombies and dreary setting, the game offers you a couple saving graces, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to get here. Perca-Colas. But wait. First of all, we have to reach our ultimate goal that we have been attempting to reach this whole video.
Power?
The new power switch.
power. Yay.
Something about the power switch being turned on in this map feels more alive than a lot of other maps in zombies. It just is a huge jumble of sound.
Bro. You turn on power and it sounds like you're electrocuting someone. Alarms going off. Like, it actually sounds like you're turning on
It
power.
makes it
Wow.
sound like the whole world around you is activating,
Yeah.
becoming alive and breathing a fresh breath that you desperately needed. With it though comes Juggernog, Double Tap, Speed Cola, and
Classics.
Quick Revive, all
Classics.
machines that offer the player unique abilities that you couldn't find in Nocturne Toten because the increased zombies difficulty practically requires it here. For
Yeah.
2500 points, Juggernog provides a staggering increased health recovery speed, which allows for things like this to happen.
Now your perks, obviously you got to get Jug. You got to get Speed Cola. then you got to get stamina up. And then your fourth one, it just
For
depends,
2,000
honestly.
points, double tap gives you increased fire rate on every single weapon in the game. Because
I
the
mean,
zombies are
double tap is
faster,
cool,
you need to
but
spray that lead
probably
faster
quick
as well.
revive.
In that same vein, though, for 3,000
That's mod perk
points,
setup,
Space
bro.
Bullet gives you a significantly faster reload speed,
Classic.
which allows you to get right back into the action after double tap empties out the entire mag on an MG42. And finally, for 1,500 points, quick revive lets you revive your teammates at blistering speeds, which again matches the theming of speed throughout all of the perks.
And if you're playing solo, bro, you get a free revive.
Talked
Bro.
about and the zombies
Come on,
themselves.
it's
Every single one of these perks lie within separate areas of the map, and I personally believe that their inclusion was fascinating for the time, and especially
Man.
now. Each perk had its own machine, its
Yep.
own theming with a color and perk jingle that coincided along with it, providing a sense of salvation through its saturated colors compared to the depressing browns and grays of Verrucht. There is just so much love that was put into all of
Yes,
these
bro.
machines,
Yes,
and
bro.
It shows. I mean, I'm very confident in saying that these are easily some of the most iconic pieces of zombies imagery that has ever existed.
brother. Oh man, I really want to get like some perk, like the perk symbols just like on my walls.
Apart
Like
from maybe
I feel like
the
that
ray
goes
gun
so
or
hard,
mystery
bro.
box, these perks have found their way onto
I think I'm gonna do that.
everything. Shot glasses, LED lights, posters. Heck,
That's-
I even had Juggernog as my Mario Kart DS emblem growing up.
Bro.
But apart from that, Verrucht also introduced something else. Something
traps.
a lot more sinister in the map, the electric trap. Lying
Yeah.
in two separate portions of the map, the electric trap provides an endless zombies killing machine right at the player's fingertips, frying the zombies as soon as they step foot into the contraption. There really
Yep.
isn't too much to say about the
They could have done more with these,
traps,
but
to
I
be
mean,
completely
brother.
honest, I'm a fan of their inclusion, but it is crazy to me that everything in this map has seen some sort of adaptation of it in a recent release.
True.
I mean, recently with Paradox Junction, we saw the return of the electric
Is this the new map? The new zombies? Ugh.
alongside the four main perks as well, obviously. So seeing how these systems persist 17 years later, the developers certainly did something right here. But guys, I think that's going to do it with Verrucht. Verrucht is a map that manages to embody its name perfectly. No other map in Zombies history has really ever taken the idea of making the name of the map so relatable to its contents, but Verrucht is perfect because it is insane. The atmosphere this map establishes is quite literally never seen anywhere else in Zombies, and frankly, I don't think it ever will. There is just something so haunting about this facility that I always just get the spooks every time I load it up. But yeah, what do you guys think of Verrucht? Was it really as scary as I thought it to be, or am I just a baby? Let me know in the comments.
Honestly, bro, you're not a baby because we were all scared of this map. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Verrucht is just a classic, brother. Like, if you're not, I just might like screen blowing. Is that new? I don't know. Anyways, I'm just losing track of whatever's going on. But honestly, Verrucht was a goated map. I really did love playing it. Love the intro. I just love all the ambience of like the older maps, bro. And new zombies suck. Alright, let's keep rolling. Alright, how many did I do today? Only like 2, right? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna leave it here.